This is part 2 for the how to make macaron cookies video. You're going to want to get your KitchenAid set up with a whisk attachment. I'm running my fingers inside to make sure that the bowl is clean of any leftover butter from any previous buttercream or other recipes, because we do not want any fat in making our meringue. Okay, and so our process is going to be that the egg white is going to go in here along with some cream of tartar to help it dissolve, and that is an acid that will help lower the pH and stabilize it. Okay, we are sometimes adding in additional egg white protein powder, but this is something that we're trying to get away from because there are plenty of professionals don't have to use this, and it's not so easy to source. Okay, so once we get the cream of tartar in with the egg and get it kind of foamy, we're going to be adding the sugar in at a earlier time in the process to make sure it's all nice and dissolved, and beat this up on medium speed. It's going to take many minutes to get us up to stiff peaks. Then we're going to be adding our color, and then we're going to be folding in our dry ingredients. So let's go ahead and get ready to start that process. So it is 60 mils or 60 grams of eggs, 1/8 a teaspoon of cream of tartar. Okay, and I happen to have 1/8 of a teaspoon on these measuring spoons. If I didn't, I would take a 1/4 teaspoon and fill it only halfway. This will be done on low to get it kind of frothy. And now it's going to be a chance for my sugar to go in. Now this is a French technique where sugar is put directly into the egg whites and the meringue. Okay, and there are different schools of thought on this. So some would wait till we get the soft peaks to add the sugar. And some would say to put it in earlier so that it has a chance to be in the liquid eggs and dissolve earlier and help stabilize. It's going to take longer to make the meringue, but it tends to be more stable. So we're going to be doing the poured in earlier. Okay, all of it, and then I'm going to be putting this on medium speed. I'll scrape down this, turn it off, scrape it on the sides when I need to. We'll be doing this on time lapse because it is going to take a little while. All right, and this is a time lapse of the making of the meringue. This is on medium speed 6 on my purple KitchenAid, and this is going to take 4 to 5 minutes. You're going to do it slow and steady so that you build a proper meringue with body. All right, and we're back in real time, and we've been on number 6 for, let me check my watch, about 6 minutes. This is what we're looking for stiff peaks. Okay, you can check it ahead of time, okay, but you want to be getting to a point where this all stands up at attention, peaks, okay, and it gets clumped up inside the wire. Okay, and it is possible for you to over whip your meringue, but adding the sugar in early actually helps minimize that risk. So we come around to the other side. Talk about how we look to finish these off. All right, so it's a good, nice, thick meringue. All right, so we had our almond flour and powdered sugar put into a smaller bowl, so I need a bigger bowl for doing the folding. And talk about the process of macaronage. Okay, so take out your meringue, rubber spatula, add it all into a large bowl, and figure out what color you want to make. Now we do have some dry powdered pigments that would have gone in earlier to dissolve with the egg. Well, more likely we're going to be using gels because we have such a greater variety of them. And whatever it is you choose, gel-wise, make sure it is not water-based, which these are not. Okay, and I'm looking to get a darker purple, so I'm actually going to take my electric purple, shake it up first, and give it maybe 4 drops. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 drop of blue. Now, I don't want to do too much work at mixing this in. Just fold it through till the color gets distributed. It's kind of hard to adjust the color after the fact. You just come to live with whatever it is you made, okay? Because the next part is going to be adding in the almond flour and the powdered sugar, and we're doing that in such a way that it's getting incorporated, but it actually is going to deflate this. Okay, so that may seem strange. We did all that work to build up this great meringue, and then we're going to be kind of deflating it as we go. So I'm happy with that. There might be a little streak of blue, but it's going to work out. I do not add this all at once. Okay, I do it in like 3 stages, so a good third of it, and some would have you actually sift that in, which I'd recommend if this were in a bag. Okay, made previously, but it's not really clumping up, so we're good. And we're folding this in around the side of the bowl, lifting, okay, helping it get incorporated until most of that product is gone. Okay, here's the other third. And I've read recipes that talk about it taking 50 folds to get this done. I can't put a number on it. I just know it's done when all this stuff is incorporated, and this has a flow like what they say is thick lava, which presents its own issues, because if you've never been to a volcano, how would you know what lava flows like? We just want the stuff to come off in a thick band. Okay, and I ought to be able to do a figure 8 with it. That's easier to visualize. If I pour this off, if I pick this up and let it flow, can I do a figure 8? Does it flow enough that I could wrap it around itself twice? And then 8 also is the amount of time that if I pull this up and drop it onto itself, does it reabsorb in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a little bit of lines left. This is pretty much done. I'd rather you undermix this, okay, not get all the air out. So you may have some macarons that are a little bit taller and have hollows in them, is what they call. I'd rather you undermix this and overmix it. If you overmix this and deflate it too much, then you're not going to get any rise, and you're going to have flat discs. They'll still be edible, it just won't be as pretty perhaps as what we'd like to get. So one of my final techniques, if I have to flatten this a little bit more aggressively, is I smash it up against the side of the bowl. I don't think that is necessary to do too much, because I really think I've got my flow for the 8 seconds, okay? And if I have streaks of white, I wasn't wanting to have that, but I'd rather have streaks of white that might have 1 or 2 cookies look kind of funky, okay, than to have this get over deflated, okay? So don't over mix it. Now this is going to go into our bag, okay, and it should you know, take a little bit of gravity to work itself down. Okay, if it pours in right away, it's going to definitely let you know that you overmix this, and there's not really anything you can do to fix that. You'll just know next time, don't mix it so long. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of wiping on the side to get all of that out. Off camera, I'm scraping everything I can off this bowl to get it into the bag. Like so. And then just with a little bit of residue, what's in the bowl. Remember we said that we were going to glue down the corners. Okay, and not all 4 corners, maybe these 2. So that the paper doesn't curve up so much. Only those 2, because this mat, I want to be able to slide out. We're done.